Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Adult Story Time. My name is Majestic. Sit back, use your imagination, and enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a man named Dave, and Dave loved adventure. Dave loved the water, he loved hiking, but his favorite adventure was surfing. And so one day Dave decided that he wanted to call all his buddies and see if they wanted to go surfing and go on a surfing trip. And so they all agreed, and they all agreed to going to Honolulu, Hawaii. And so they all packed their bags, they hopped in the van, and they all went to the airport heading to Honolulu. And so they get to Honolulu and they see all the palm trees, and they see the clear sky, and they see all the blue water. So beautiful. As soon as they get there, they have to get to their hotel. So they go check in, and they end up checking into a beautiful suite. This suite had a kitchen, it had 2 bedrooms, and and then in the living room it had a window that you could overlook and see the entire ocean, the entire Honolulu, and it was just so beautiful. And so they decided that they wanted to go down to the casino and play some games. And so they went down there, and as Dave sat down at the restaurant that they had next to the casino, his friend jumps up and screams at the slots. And he says, "Oh my God, I just won $50,000. And so everyone races to his friend Josh, who just had won all the money. And Josh is like, "Yes, I won. I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm going to give each of you $1,000, and let's go to like some bomb restaurant. Let's just go enjoy ourselves." And so that's what they did. They went and found the most exquisite restaurant they could hear of. And so they went there, and they began to eat all the good food that was there. There was lobster, there was shrimp, there was crab, there was pineapples, there was everything, rice. And as they were there, they seen one of the famous cooks by the name of Emerald. And so Emerald they asked Emerald to make them a shrimp cocktail, as he did so. And they enjoyed it. And so they went back to the hotel, and as they went back to the hotel room, they looked down at the beach, and they said, "Let's just go sit on the beach. We're too full to eat, so let's just go sit on the beach and look at the water." So it's about 7 o'clock at night, and they were ready to watch the sunset, and they were sitting on the beach when all of a sudden they heard drums. And so they look over to their left, and there's a drum circle beginning. And it was so fun and beautiful. Everyone was gathering around the circle, the campfire, that was the bonfire that was out there. And everyone was gathering around. And as they began to play the drums, and there was a man tossing fire in the air, and they were just really amazed by the beauty and the fun they were looking at. And so they decided to go over there and join it. And as they went over there, they sat back, and they were just enjoying their evening, watching the sunset and the beautiful bonfire with the drum circle. When, as they were sitting there, one of the guys by the name of Josh, who had just won all the money, ended up meeting 2 beautiful women by the name of Lilith and Jessica. They end up becoming great friends with Lilith and Jessica, and they decided to, Jessica and Lilith had been to Honolulu a few times, so they wanted to tell them about Honolulu and tell them all about it, and tell them where all the good spots were and all the fun really was. And so Jessica pulled out a cup of tea by the name of kava, and it was an ancient Honolulu drink that allowed you to relax and just be clear-minded and be at peace with everything, with all there is. And so as she was drinking her tea, she shared it with the guys, and the guys realized something is different. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm feeling amazing. All is well, they said. And so Jessica then said, you guys like karaoke? And so they decided to go to karaoke. And so as they were at the karaoke, they ended up all on stage singing a song together as Jessica was recording from the audience. And as they were singing, someone in the audience recognized them from surfing. And he looked at Dave and he said, "Hey, I seen you out there on the water. Would you mind being in the competition tomorrow?" And Dave instantly lit up and said, "Yes, of course I will. Of course I will." And he said, "Hey, by the way, the competition, whoever wins the competition wins $50,000. And so they were like, "What?" And so they all was like, "Of course, yes, let's do it." And so they all signed up right then and there. And so when they got back to their table, they asked Lilith if it was okay if she could bring them some kava tomorrow for the competition, to allow them to just really get in the mind state of surfing and just, being a positive mind state and a stable mind for the water. And so Lilith agreed. And as they ended up having the greatest night of their life, they all just had so much fun singing and dancing, and they ended up going back to the hotel room, or back to the hotel, and they went back to the casino and they played a little more. And at the casino there was a dance floor, so some of them got on the dance floor, and Lilith and Jessica decided they were going on up to bed. So they went on up to bed as the men remained downstairs, and they played a little more until they got tired enough to go to bed. And so they went in and they went to bed, and they could not wait till the next day. And so that next morning they woke up and they went downstairs immediately to the brunch buffet. And it was a big 5-star restaurant in the middle of their hotel resort. And they went, they ate. There was everything you could think of for breakfast. Anything you could think of, everything you could think of. There was sausage, pancakes, eggs. There was bacon. There was omelets. There was bagels, every type of bagel there is, multi-grain, blueberry, chocolate chip. There was everything you could think of for breakfast. There was fruit. There was fresh fruit. Some was cold, some was room temperature, whatever you wanted, however you wanted it. It was right there. There was teas, there was orange juice, there was apple juice, there was water, there was coffee. Everything you wanted was right there for breakfast. So they dug in and they enjoyed every bite. And as they were sitting there, then the guy that they had seen the night before, who had invited them to the competition, walks up, and he gives them all their numbers for the competition. And he says, "I can't wait to see you out there." And he said, I saw you out there yesterday, and you did pretty good, but you can't do better than me." And Dave said, it's not fair. I didn't get to see you out there. And the guy said, no worries. I'm better than you." And as they all laughed, and he walked away, and he kind of looked over his shoulder like, should I have invited him? He's really good. Did I just give away the money? And so They get ready for this fun time. They get ready for this competition as they all go back to their hotel room. And as they go back to their hotel room to get ready, they had 3 hours before performance. And so on their way up to their hotel room, they see Lilith and Jessica coming down the steps because they were heading to breakfast. As Lilith and Jessica, as they were walking past Lilith and Jessica, Lilith reminds Dave of the kava and gives Dave the kava, but she tells Dave, do not drink the kava until 1 hour before the competition. And so Dave says, okay. So they go back to the Dave and the guys go back to the hotel room, and they relax a little bit. And 1 hour comes really fast before competition. And so Dave and the guys drink their kava, and they begin to get ready. And so they all get their swimming trunks on, their surfboards, their gear, and they head down to the beach. And so they get down there, and the competition is ready to begin. And so Josh goes. They all go. And, well, not at the same time, of course. But, so it's Josh's turn. And Josh does a great he does a great performance on the ocean. He does really, really good. Except for as the wave is coming up above him and it is folding over him as he is riding the wave, his foot gets stuck in the wave and he ends up falling. And so next is Dave's turn, and Dave goes, and the waves get as big as the buildings, and Dave is just flowing through the wave. And as the wave folds and Dave sees all the beautiful fish on the side of him, and he reaches his arm out and he feels all the water. He feels the water as he's flowing through the middle of the wave that is folded over on top of him. And he comes out as he waves at the crowd, and the crowd is all clapping and applauding for him. Next is the guy that invited him, and the guy has to do his best so the wave gets as big as the building, and he goes through the wave, and the wave begins to fold, and so he goes through the wave, and he comes out with his hands down. He comes out standing on his hands. And so the crowd's just shocked, and they're like, wow, he really did good. He did amazing, and they're all clapping and applauding. And so it's time to choose who wins. And so the runner-ups were Dave, the guy who invited Dave, and another man. And so as they were all standing there, something happened and plans changed to where that other man, he had been disqualified for something he'd done while he was on the water. And so the new runner-up was Josh. And no one understood why, because Josh had failed. And so they were all preparing to hear the final verdict, who won. And so they say Josh wins. and no one could understand how Josh won, but they said that Josh had the longest balance out of all three of them. And so not only did Josh win the $50,000, he won another $50,000, which was $100,000. And so Josh decided, since he was only invited by his best friend Dave, that he was going to give Dave the $50,000. And Dave ended up giving $25,000 to Lilith and Jessica for the kava, because he said without without that kava, they wouldn't be able to perform as good as they did. And so that's the end of my story. Hope you enjoyed it.